Hey there, it's Brittany, and I'm back today with a quick tutorial on a necklace using this new pendant from Jessie James Beads. And I love it. It's really cute. We're going to also use some of the Color Trends Ocean Bead Mix, which is really pretty blues, turquoise, and teal, a little bit of green in there, and a few beads from Illuminating and Ultimate Gray. These are really pretty yellow beads and gray and hematite beads from the 2021 Pantone color blend release. So I'm really excited to use these again. I'm really going to be using just a couple beads today. We're going to be focusing on this pendant and some enamel chain. So I have this white and antique brass enamel chain today. We are also going to use just a few thunder polish beads in the 3 by 2 millimeter shape in the gold color. So let's get started. Today I'm going to hype up this pendant by adding a couple beads. Out of the illuminating mix, I grabbed this boho bead, which kind of, I think I've heard Sarah say it looks like something from Harry Potter, and I think so too. I think it's, what is it, the golden snitch? I can't remember. And then this really pretty patinaed bead from the Color Trends mix. And I'm also going to grab a crystal rondelle spacer from the illuminating mix. So I am going to use some 20 gauge wire in gold, and I won't need a whole lot because we're just doing a quick pendant with it. All right, so one end we're going to wire wrap around the pendant that we already have. All right, so just like that, we have a little loop. And we're going to slide that right onto our pendant. That click in there. And then we'll go ahead and wrap the shorter tail around the larger tail. And you can do that with your fingers or your pliers, whichever one is more comfortable for you. Okay, and I'm just going to do a little wrap like that. I'm not going to go too much or too crazy with it. And then we're just going to snip off in the back. And then I'm going to take my ocean bead and put it on my wire. I'm going to take my crystal rondelle spacer and then my boho bead. Just like that. And then we have a really big statement pendant instead of just one little piece. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to create a bail. And I'm going to create a sideways bail for the chain to connect onto. I'm not hanging this onto chain. So I'm going to find my bail making pliers. These are by Beat Alon. And I'm going to find which way I want the pendant to turn. So this is sideways. I want the chain to be able to hook on to the sides of the pendant. So I'm going to turn these sideways, and I want that bigger mandrel. So I'm going to go ahead and bend it one way. And then bring it back around. So I'm going to reposition so the smaller mandrel is in the curve that I just made. Then I'm going to bring it back around the larger mandrel. Just like that. So we have quite a large loop. I'll stick it back in there, and then I'm going to wire wrap it back around the bottom of the gap I made here. Now if we want that gap to be smaller, you just use the smaller mandrel to make that initial bend. I'm going to hold it with my pliers and do a quick wire wrap. I'm just going to wire wrap until that space is filled up with a messy wrap. Okay, just like that. And then I want to make sure that our piece is facing all the right way. So I'm just going to do a little bit of a twist there. And there we go. So now we have a really big loop at the top to connect onto with our chain. We're going to have to use a little bit of a jump ring to get that chain connected. So there is our pendant. Isn't that fun? And if you've ever needed just a big ring, but you want it attached to your pendant, now you know how. We'll go like this. And the thunder polish is going to finish the back of our necklace. I'm also going to take a couple of the other beads from the Ocean Color Trends mix, and we're going to mix them into the chain. I'm also going to take these larger rondelles from the Ultimate Gray and Illuminating mix, and I'm going to incorporate those into the chain as well. So I'm just going to cut my chain in half. And I've already used this chain on another project, that's why it's a little bit shorter, but this chain is sold by, I believe, the foot. So I had 2 feet. So I'm going to connect my chain onto this pendant, and I want to start with, I'm going to start with the end that has the gold dot instead of the end that has the enamel bar. And I'm just going to find a tiny jump ring to do so. All right, so now we have our chain connected to our pendant, but I'm going to interrupt that chain by cutting it and adding in our 4 beads. So I want the first one to be right here where this gold dot is, and then I will move the next one, which I think will be yellow, a few pieces up. I'm just going to make a cut right there. And a cut right there. And I'm going to take my chain, my 2 beads, and I'm going to use some 22 gauge wire here, just a smaller gauge than we used on the pendant. I'm just going to make a couple links. And you can wire wrap them in, or you can just use a simple loop technique. I think I'm going to wire wrap in this one because I want it to be a little bit more sturdy. So I'm going to do a little wire wrap, and you don't have to do a million wraps just to get it to be more sturdy. So I'm going to go ahead and snip that, or snap that in there. Okay, hold that. Do a couple wraps. Put in our bead, and then do the same thing on the other side. Just like that, and then we'll cut off the excess wire, and I'm going to do the exact same thing for our yellow beads and the second ocean bead. Here's our necklace so far, which is turning out beautifully. And here is the first pair of beads I added into our chain. And then I actually ended up using some of the bead caps from the Ocean Color Trends mix to go around those beautiful yellow crystals from the illuminating mix. I was actually going to strand some of these gold thunder polish beads around the back, but the necklace is almost the length that I need, so I'm not going to string them. I'm just going to wire wrap a couple in, and I'm going to do that by just putting them all on one piece of wire on both sides. So I'm thinking I only need about 3 on each side, 3 or 4, and then we'll put on my clasp. So I'll go ahead and wire wrap the first piece. These are tiny. There is an even tinier size too. There we go. I think I'm going to do 4. And then I am just going to wire wrap the other side. And then I just grabbed a random toggle clasp out of my Jesse James beads stash. Go ahead and wire wrap that right on, so that'll be super sturdy. Won't tug if you get it caught on something or like your hair or clothing or something, and it'll be pretty strong. So go ahead and clip that, and then I'll do the other side, and then we have a finished necklace. And here we have our finished necklace, and it's ready for, I feel like, a tropical vacation, but I love it. It's very eclectic, and it's all centered on these fantastic beads and this wonderful pendant. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks to Jesse James Beads for having me back, and I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.